Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 1, Bury the Past. Yes, we are adding a name to the title. I'm going to talk about that because when we do these streams, a lot of people come on and say, what is going to be the title? So when we do our predictions, and we do these about 2 months out, so for the next 8 weeks, we're going to be doing episode by episode. We're going to be layering those things on. We have a lot of fun with it. If you're new to the channel, other than random things, this is probably one of the streams that I absolutely enjoy the most because we actually just go all CSI. We piece it together. We'll set a foundation today of what we think episode 1 is going to be. There's some spoiler pictures out there. We'll talk about those. And then we're going to just combine it, and all of our ideas will come together. We'll do episode 2, 3, 4. Last season was a whole lot of fun. We were really close. We got the Carl death mixed in there, but we didn't have it exactly right. The Simon death as well a little bit later on. So some really good call-outs to everybody. Do see that we got some super chats already in the house. We got Valar. Thank you so much, Valar. Appreciate that. Giving a shout out to Kills, Steph, Emmy, Kels, Bree, Sweet Tom, sponsors and patrons and all the supporters. So thank you so much, everybody. Valar especially. Appreciate that and that nice introduction. All right, so we got rumors out there. We also had a brand new stream earlier today. 2 streams. Something new I'm going to be doing. If you guys have not had a chance to watch that, I would greatly appreciate if you check it out. They're little small clips. We're calling them the Walking Dead clips. Appropriate enough. And they're going to be 3 to 5 minutes and picking a topic, live streams. It's almost going to be a little bit of catch me if you can, because you never know when I'm going to put on the mic and just do a stream. The first one I kind of got in under the radar. It was really quick. The second one, half the army was notified. They were on there in a hurry. People were on there. They were super chatting. They were participating. But it was pretty good topics. But still, when the videos go live, make sure you're talking about that. The shorter videos also give me a chance to interact with some of the people, leave some of the comments. And because a lot of times we're doing it verbally through these. We don't do as much verbal communication on those. It's really fast video, but we'll do a lot of follow-up as well. So let's get right to it. If you guys do not know the ground rules, we are going to, yes, Captain Crawfish, I did make that prediction. So I think that is, it's funny that you bring that up. I don't know if that much time has passed. So I thought there would be a little bit more of a time skip, and I was on the record of saying if there was a time skip, that they would move forward to the Aaron and Jesus relationship. I'm not sure enough time has passed to make that happen. And I'll tell you why. Because this scene is going to take place. It's a funeral. There's no doubt it's a funeral. So really quickly, we got a super chat in here. This is 1189 Paris. Thank you so much. It says, recast Rick Grimes or put his head on a spike with Maggie. No helicopter or I'll see you later. Goodbyes. So Paris, we definitely had that discussion a little bit earlier. So thank you for that. I'm okay with Rick coming back. But I don't think it's going to happen. It's going to definitely be something that we'll dissect a little bit later on. I might even talk about it a little bit more at the end of this video. So appreciate that. Glad that you got those thoughts in there. A recast, that honestly, it seemed to be the least popular idea. But if it's done right, who knows? Anything's a possibility. You don't really know until you kind of see it happening. So this, we've seen all the horses going together. We've seen just a multitude of different people coming in. What else would bring everybody together? It's not, I don't think it's a speech. I don't think it's the new laws. I don't think it's a trial. I guess a trial would be an outside chance. I really feel like looking at the expressions, the emotions from all the pictures that are out there, that this is going to be a funeral. I would like to see your... there's some funny comments that are typed along the way. I can't acknowledge all of them, but... The funeral, I'm going to ask the group, do you think if it is a funeral, which I feel like it is, bury the past, we'll talk about that in 1 second. Do you feel like it is going to get the emotion and the reaction for Carl's death, bringing closure? I'm going to tell you why I think that could happen and so many more things. Jimmy's jamming with a super chat. Says, Rick takes a break and returns. That's my theory. I mean, I feel that. That's my gut instinct. Jimmy's jamming. So I know Jimmy doesn't want to lose anybody because Jimmy still wants Madison to come back as well. So, Jimmy, is that from your head or is that from your heart? I just got to know. But I do feel like sometime this point that, and I'll tell you as we stack on the different layers and talk about episode 1, 2, all the way through, I'm going to tell you when I think that Rick is going to leave, and I'm going to tell you why I think he's going to leave and all the things that are going to go into it. And I'm sure you guys are going to give some really, really good add-ons to these as well. So let's talk about the funeral. I used a play on words here. I think bury the past is really appropriate because I think they're going to use this funeral to further get to Maggie and to further humanize Negan. Two things I think are going to happen. But the play on words here was actually Kylo Ren to Rey, where he said, let the past die, kill it if you have to. It's the only way to become what you need to be. Now think about that. The Walking Dead is notorious for twisting some of the words and giving homage to different other actors and other shows. So I really think that the first episode is going to be named something like Bury the Past, just to show that it's time to get to the next chapter, the next story. And a Carl funeral, even if it's not just a Carl funeral, if there's a whole bunch of people that they acknowledge, whether they could potentially be saviors, showing that respect to everybody and further showing that Rick is flawed, that Rick has some opportunity, that Rick killed some, maybe they weren't innocent people, but killed some surrendering people. And we let Rick off the hook relatively easy. I mean, for executing those people, Rick and Morgan did a number. Morgan had to get away. Rick has a little bit of baggage still. I think it's also possible at this funeral, at this gathering, that there are some additional Carl letters. So I'm going to ask the group at this point, I want to get your comments, we'll get them included in this video. Are there additional letters perhaps addressed to Maggie that go into the loss of Glenn, from Carl that talk about a new world opportunity? Are there potential other letters that could be out there as well? Think about how the show is going to have to transition Maggie and Negan if they're going to take the next step. Kel says Maggie or a Carol letter. Alicia says something to Daryl. If Carl wrote a letter to Daryl, it's going to be it'll be a piece of paper with a bar of soap wrapped in it, and it'll probably say something like, please use. That's probably. Look, I'm sorry. I got to get a shot in at Daryl. Everybody else does. I don't know. I don't know about a Daryl letter. I think Maggie, because Maggie suffered the biggest loss. And Maggie is the one that has the most vengeance at this point. And it would quell the flame a little bit. Do you think that... I'm going to give you some additional things that I think will go down in this episode. But do you think that the writers will start to chip away at Maggie's vengeance? Yes or no? Let's see what the crowd thinks right now. I'm going to put everybody here on the spot. A lot of people in the house. You guys can do me a favor. Slap that like button. Let's show the people the 999 Army is in full effect. Once again, this is one of my favorite streams, getting your interaction, getting your thoughts, getting your predictions on record this early. Think about this. We got 5 months, and we're already throwing predictions out there. That is absolutely bold. Nobody else is going to be that bold. Some are saying, no, Maggie is going to do what Maggie's going to do. A good portion of the people are saying, yeah, they could start to chip away at that a little bit. Now, chipping away and ending her vengeance are two different things. I'm not saying... The one thing the writers are, I think they're really good at, and they're notorious for doing, is to start to show us both sides. They could show us maybe Maggie's considering it. Doesn't mean she won't pull the trigger when she gets the opportunity. But it might. So I'm not ready to unveil that. We're going to talk about that around episode 6, episode 7, episode 8 prediction. Right now, these are the gatherings that are going to get everybody else together. Now, you can't make out everything from people's expressions, but I'll tell you, Rick and Michonne riding side by side. I think the fact that they're up front, probably to me, this is to honor Carl. Maggie, kind of in the carriage, could also be unofficial. You got Sasha, you got Abraham, you got Glenn. It could be more so. So, once again, let's get this on record. Funeral, yes or no? If you agree that this is a funeral for Carl or a bigger memorial for everybody. Thoughts and comments below. Not what you want it to be. What you think it potentially could be. A Carl Day parade? Not a farmer's market day. Now, here is the question. There is a time skip. I'm right there with you. So we got, because of the time skip, a meeting. We've also got a meeting for what? Paris says celebrating 2 years of peace. I don't think we're 2 years behind us. That long. Jimmy's Jammin' says, got to be a memorial for all. Lots of good people. Kel says, time skip, celebrating the anniversary of communities uniting. Civil War meeting, the leaders. Okay. Nether Fox says, memorial. It would explain Rick thinking about Shane, but we don't know that's going to happen in the first episode. Howling Wolf says, a gathering to celebrate their success like in the comics. Okay. All right, we're going to go that direction. Scratch it. Scratch the funeral idea. I'm with you. All right, but here's my question. Some of the reactions that you've seen, Maggie does not look happy about going there. And how are the groups separated? We definitely have Jadis with Father G. Interesting combo there. Deborah Mooney says 4th of July. Sides will be taken. Steph says, celebrating President Maggie. I don't give her the presidency just yet. Because Rick is not let go. If Maggie was the president, she would have already ordered Negan to execution. Well, there are some people here that look like they're dreading this meeting. All right, so Ninja says meeting to discuss Negan. Jake from State Farm says hanging of Gregory. I can't give you that because if they're not going to kill Negan, they're definitely not killing Gregory. Great point. So, the groups have been rebuilding, running out of fuel. Great call out. So you have all the horses. Chosen One says celebration of Carl's life. But the big thing is we can't agree to a time skip. So, can we agree that it's been long enough that Maggie has had the baby? Can we all agree on that? That Maggie is a mom? We'll start with that. That would give us at least 7-month time skip. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take a lot of those ideas in there, and I'm going to narrow it down to 1 or 2 choices. So, you know what? We're going to backtrack. No funeral. So you got 1 of 2 options here. All right, if we've time skipped past Maggie having the baby, what that means that Negan has already healed. Negan has been a prisoner for a long period of time. Cyndie has already picked her side. Jadis has already picked her side. So we got 1 of 2 choices. It is either a holiday or it is a meeting. So I'm going to give you 2 choices here. It's a meeting to discuss government and laws. Or it is a show of respect, a 1-year anniversary since the war ended. And it is a commemorative holiday toward Carl. Paul says, meaning to elect a new leader. Wilson, I don't see hangings in this group. I think everything that they are doing is about keeping people alive. So I would be hard-pressed to think that they're going to start out with a public execution. No, I get it, but there are people out there that are going to think that they're going to start, and they could start out with a bang. That would make us question, like, what happened to all the rules? Why would it be right for one person and wrong for another person? Okay, so we've been very generic at this point. What kind of meeting? What meeting is so important that everybody has to ride in and get together to discuss? Because in most cases, these meetings... Hold on, I'm going to let you guys answer. Carolyn, there's another cart that has Enid, has Maggie, has Cyndie, has a whole group of people. Okay, so I'm going to pick that apart just a little bit. Because keep in mind, episode number 1, they don't need to shock you with episode number 1. People, they haven't watched The Walking Dead in 8 months. They're going to watch no matter what. The fans are going to be back. We're going to be hyped up. There will be a little bit of drama. But for the most part, it's going to be about us getting acclimated with the new time skip. All right, so going back to OU Crawfish. Since I am now participating and I'm now joining in on your theory, that, and you know what, guys? Dude, I'm sorry, but in a public stream, and I do just have to tell you, your name is just, it's just not appropriate. So you are more than welcome to join the stream if you have a name that actually projects a little bit of decency, but, you know, come on. That's just beyond silly. All right, I'm sorry about that. Everybody's looking for a way around the system. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. It's a real easy thing to do. Your opinions are definitely welcome, but just do it with a name that has just a slight bit of class. That's all I'm going to ask. Thank you. Jimmy's jamming. You know there's a chance that Rick and Negan can form a weird friendship that Negan and Carl were supposed to have like in the comics. Yes, Jimmy, not going to be very popular, not going to be well accepted. But it's possible. I don't know how the crowd would react to that, though. So, you know what, Jimmy, let's make that the Super Chat Spotlight. So, let's focus in on Jimmy's Super Chat. How do all of you feel about a potential Rick and Negan partnership? Now, don't tell me with your heart, because if I answer with my heart, I'm going to say, no freaking way, it ain't going to happen. Not now, not ever. I can't let it happen. But if I think with my head, is there something that could create that could allow Rick to be a little bit more forgiving because of Carl? I'm going to say maybe. Let it go, Kills. Let it go. Kel, would that someone be Rick Grimes? David Brooks says, do you think Magna will show up? Maybe. Maybe on Fear, David. Maybe they're saving that. Jamie Taylor's like me. Maybe. That's non-committal. Carolyn Fritz says Rick and Negan could partner. Because Carl wanted it. Rial says, I don't know. If Rick spends a year talking to him and there's something that needs going after, I can see it. So there you go. He has kept him alive. Exactly. So Epic brings up a great point, which ties into that super chat. No doubt about it. Big bridge for that storyline. Because I'm still in the Rick, I'm going to kill you mode. So season 9, let's be friends, it's a huge stretch. It takes something epic. It takes lots and lots of layers. Backfire says, Judith befriends Rick while in jail. All right, hold on now. What is Judith going over visiting Negan for? You know what? Backfire, I'm gonna have to veto that. They better be watching Judith and not letting Judith roam over to the prison cell. Susan, I agree with you. They cannot build that bridge with any ease. It would definitely take time. Judith is a resource. That's great. That is it's a great comment. All right, so I'm going to take some of your wonderful ideas and I'm going to do what we always do. I'm going to build on them. I'm going to pick some of them apart. A meeting to discuss Negan with all this many people is a recipe for disaster. A meeting to discuss Negan with 3 or 4 leaders, central figures, is a little different story. Because there's going to be people with the saviors that feel like Negan took care of their best interest. There's going to be people with the saviors that feel like Negan did not. There's going to be people like Rick that don't want Negan to die. So I would be more likely to accept it. It could come up in conversation, but not too much democracy. DDA says a trial to convict Negan. That the groups have just gotten so tired of Rick keeping him prisoner, they said we need to have rules, a system, laws. Denise says, if Negan saved Michonne's life, maybe Denise, but there's got to be a scenario where he gets out. Now, I need everybody to think about these 3 letters. And we'll see who can get it first. All right, I'm just going to give you a quick acronym. And we're going to talk about this throughout the season. D, T, J. I was reading Judge Dredd as the law. I thought somebody was reading my mind there. DTJ. And remember this, not ELO. Nope, not ELO. Don't bring me down, Deborah. Oh, do the job. I like that, Petey. Don't trust Jadis. Don't touch Judith. There you go. You guys are on it. Do not trust Jadis. We have tons of acronyms now. I've said for a while, Jadis is going to be the person to unlock the cell. And I think Negan's going to play it smart. I really do. I think Jadis is going to try to let him out, and Negan is smart enough to know that, look, where am I going to go? The only way he's... All right. Would you agree or disagree that Negan has a psychological advantage over Rick? Now, there's a lot of different reasons. Okay. Everybody pretty much agrees with that. Absolutely. He's shown it over and over again. Even he's talked to Rick before and made Rick pause. Now, in the season finale, Rick actually talked to Negan and got Negan to pause. But somewhere down there, deep down, Negan has one weapon, and it ain't Lucille. Negan has a psychological advantage over Rick. And he knows that the only way he's ever going to be back in good graces, the only way he's ever going to be accepted, is to find a way to build Rick's trust. He's seen Rick. He's seen, Rick has said, this is what we are. This is what we built. This is who we are. All of those things. He didn't say it like that, but you get the idea. This is what we're all about. And Negan knows that. So if Negan can show a little bit of the ability to conform, look, maybe it's all a farce. Maybe he changes back at some point. But his ability to manipulate, exactly, Cammie, it may be genuine this time. But in the back of our minds, we're always going to have a little bit of doubt. And I'll tell you the other thing. Rick is going to have some weakness. All those deaths that Rick and Morgan participated in, it's going to hit Rick. The lies that Rick started to tell, it's going to hit Rick. And that's going to make him vulnerable. All right, a couple more things that we are going to talk about. So, I am going to officially go back on the time skip bandwagon. I agree. 1 year has passed. I think they are celebrating 1 year of peace. That's going to be my bold prediction. I do think the topic of conversation is going to come up. I do think that I don't think it's going to be an open debate. I don't think it's going to be a trial. I think it's a celebration. I think people are there and it's like, hey, we have started to rebuild. And I think that's a good transition for the story because then they don't have to show us how the solar panels got built. They don't have to show us how the irrigation got redone. They don't have to show us, Negan healing. They don't have to show us Maggie having the baby. All those things are going to be laid right there for us. But it doesn't mean that they didn't happen. It doesn't mean that Maggie's not going to bring up at the end of the celebration, what about him? Why is he still here? He needs to go. They've been so busy rebuilding that I think they need to get together to celebrate success. So I'm fully on board. If those people said that, that is going to be my official stance and what I'm going to add next week's episode too. The ability to move on. I also think Father G's blindness is going to come into play, but because I think it is at least 1 year, yes, Aaron and Jesus are officially a couple. I absolutely think that 1 year has passed. They're riding in the same group. They're in close enough proximity. I don't think it's a coincidence that I do think we could see that as one of the opening scenes. We don't have to learn how they got together. We don't have to go through Aaron's grieving about Eric. So, Aaron and Jesus raising baby Grace. Maggie's had the baby. But Negan being a prisoner is still an underlying issue. Couple more things that I do think will happen in this episode, and then we'll wind it down. I think we will see Dwight watching the celebration from a distance. I think Dwight has been on his own. I think there's going to be some drama around Dwight where we don't know, is Dwight a renegade? Does Dwight want to be in a community? What is Dwight's story going to be? I think he's been out there for a year, living on his own, looking for Sherry. Now, whether or not we'll find her, totally different story. All right, I'm going to do a quick recap, and I want to thank everybody for being here. So let's talk about the direction. Next week, we're going to add another layer to this. We're going to talk about episode number 2. Also, as a reminder, tomorrow night we'll be doing random things. We'll be doing additional bold predictions for both shows on Wednesday night, and Thursday night we'll be doing Thursday Thrones, getting back to our Game of Thrones stream all throughout the week. There will be Walking Dead clips from Season 9, so they will be short videos, 3 to 5 minutes in length. Could happen at 1 a.m., could happen at 5 p.m., you never know. No advance notice. If you get the notification, it's going to happen live. If not, watch the playback. Catch me if you can. If you can find me streaming, then your comments will be included in that video live. If not, then we're going to get you to post them in the playback. So that's going to appeal hopefully to everybody because we got people all over the world watching the channel. I've got some people that say, I'm in England and it's a different time. I'd love to be in the longer streams, but it just gives everybody a chance to participate. So real quick recap, going along with some of your ideas. The group is celebrating 1 year peace. Question: will Negan be allowed as a prisoner to honor 1 year peace? Will they bring him out in public to show what you don't do? You don't break the rules. Just food for thought. Just want to throw it out there. Wilson says locked up. Maybe they let him out, let him walk around, field a little bit, only from his cell. A lot of good answers there. All right. I'm going to disagree with some in the group. I don't think that it is a meeting to talk about laws and governance, but I do think that some people will not be able to let it go, and the conversation of Negan will come up, and it will sadly detract away from a year of peace. And I think it's going to show all the Walking Dead world that this season is not going to be about peace. They've lived together. We've seen them. Well, no, we haven't seen it. We've assumed that they've been together somewhat peacefully for a year. And I think they're going to start to show with it reaching a boiling point where we start to get some different ideas. We don't need to show all the simple mundane stuff of building the farms, growing the tomatoes, life starts over again. That's implied. But the anger has been there and is still going to be there. We also said the time skip will be at least a year, well, almost a year, long enough for Maggie to have the baby. And we're also going to go out on a limb and say, do not trust Jadis, that Jadis could be the person to unlock Negan's cell. And maybe no one's checked and his cell's been unlocked the whole time. And eventually, just like in the comic, he will tell Rick something along the lines of, I could have escaped a long time ago. And that type of act will lead Rick to believe that he can be trusted and will give him a little bit more rope, a little bit more latitude, and to start to work that psychological edge on Rick once again. And lastly, I think Dwight at a distance, a rugged, rundown Dwight, and we all want to know what Dwight's story is in the following week. So I think going into episode 2, and next week we'll talk about it, what happens to Dwight? How does the drama with Negan play out? And how is this civil war going to start to flare up? And it will, because we know, if there's anything we know about The Walking Dead, humans cannot stay at peace for a very long period of time. Drama King, we will talk about some flashbacks. We will talk about some people making some cameo appearances. I don't think that we're going to see Shane in episode number 1. I think it's going to be more about setting the stage for the time skip, and then we will talk about some players that they may bring back in future episodes. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Appreciate all your interaction, all your thoughts, all your comments. We are in the off season. A lot of stuff in this video is going to be absolutely incorrect, but that's okay. That's the fun of doing predictions early. And if spoilers do start to come out, we will post those in the comments below. We will continue to add these videos as we get bits and pieces. We're either going to validate exactly what we're talking about, or we're gradually going to tear it down and go along with the ride. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everything that you guys do. We've ran about 41 minutes, so if you guys could do me a favor and leave 999 in the comments, show everybody your support for the Army. Make sure you guys all slap that like button. And if you're watching the playback, this is the closing credits. If you're still here, let me do some shout-outs and just show a little bit of love here. What's up, Paul Phelps? Thank you for being here. Deborah Mooney, Jamie Taylor. Thank you so much. Appreciate your involvement, your interaction with Lonnie. Also the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells, all the sponsors up in the top right corner, all the Patreons down in the bottom left corner. If you guys are going to a Comic-Con and you want to rock some 999 gear, Kel can post the link that's going to be streaming here to our Threadless site. We have some Fear the 999 Army. We have 999 Army shirts, rocking that gray. A lot of Comic-Cons coming up, so check that out as well. You guys know. And also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We got the Walking Dead Army Facebook fan page, so a lot of fun there. Let me get back to a few of these shout-outs. Mitch True, thank you. Maddie of the 999 Army. What's up, Maddie? Nerd Life. Jamie Jordan. Whoa! Holy Toledo. Jamie. All right. So Jamie Jordan is a long-time supporter of the channel, is a long-time patron, one of the first patrons we've had supporting, and I have not seen you and Maddie in a long, long time. So thank you so much for being here. Absolutely missed you, and appreciate you being back and being involved. That made my night, so thank you so much. Captain Crawfish, thank you for being here, and that super chat still never answered my super chat from earlier. Crawfish, hold on. Here's the thing. I only have about 250 comments at any one time. So can you type it again? Moderators, if you know the super chat from earlier, can somebody type that so I can address it and get everybody to show a little bit of love to the Crawfish? Gina Crockett, thank you so much. Fluff Salisbury, Walking Dead Nerd 13, wearing the green 999 Army. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Valar, thank you so much. I'm ready to get back to some Game of Thrones Thursday night, Valar. Look for it. Howling Wolf, thank you. Sergeant Chosen One, pleasure. Jamie, and my thoughts and prayers go out. So, wish you a speedy recovery. As much, and I don't want to pry. I don't want to get too much into it, so we can talk offline. But anything that I can do, then absolutely, let me know. And thank you so much. Appreciate you and your family and all the support for this channel. Thank you, Marie Levy, Northside Queen. I see you, Northside Queen. 1189 Paris, thank you. Lakeisha Faison, thank you. Maggie B. B loves 999 and the Walking Dead Army. Lisa, what's up, Lisa? Maurice Gamble. Maddie, great question. Wants to know next comic book read. I'm not sure it's going to be on this channel. I will keep you posted over the next couple days. If it's not on this channel, it'll be on the 999 Dead channel. But we are ramping back up our Walking Dead clips, our videos, our conversation. So it will be happening very soon. I just can't tell you which channel we're going to do it on yet. And I think I missed... oh, here we go. Who are the two with Aaron? I don't know the characters' names. The person... Any help there? The person up front on the horse and the person to the right of Aaron? I'm going to tell you that there's no way. There's no way that Henry has gotten that much older. That wouldn't be a 1-year time skip. That would be about a 5-year time skip. Yeah, that can't be Henry. You know what? I'm going to go in and zoom in and do some CSI stuff. But yeah, there's no way in 1 year that Henry got darker hair, especially out in the sun and doing all the stuff they're doing. I will, Crawfish, I'll try to get back to you. I'll see who the actors are and see if we can find out. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I know we did shout-outs, super chats. I know I missed a lot of people, so I'll try to catch it up. We're doing random things tomorrow night at 9:30. A lot of awesome stuff happening with the channel. Get ready. We are about to ramp this thing back up and start to think about your predictions for next week's episode. Stefanella, shout out to 9-year-old Bella. Thank you so much, Stefanella and Bella. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. To those of you I missed the shout-outs, leave it in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.